Hi guys, I just want to touch base with you today. So no new concepts today, but I wanted to see if you were having any problems on the worksheets that you guys were given before you left. So the first one that you have is velocity time graphs. Make sure that you have this equation. This is the physics equation for slope of a velocity time graph. So average acceleration is equal to your change in velocity over your change in time. Make sure that when you are constructing your graph, that time always goes on your x-axis, right? And speed or velocity always goes on your y-axis. One of the things you guys are going to notice in this particular unit is that we use the words speed and velocity interchangeably. So just be prepared for that. Also, we studied in our Google Slides over this section that the area under the curve on a velocity time graph was displacement. I am not going to be testing you over how to calculate displacement or the area under the curve, right? So anywhere on this worksheet that it asks you to find distance or displacement, you can mark it out. So the first question that you have comes on page 3. All right, and you have number 7C that says calculate displacement. Go ahead and mark that out. All right, number 8B. All right, go ahead and mark all of that out. You don't have to find displacement. All right, and continue to the rest of number 8 at the top of the next page. Go ahead and mark that out. All right, number 9, we are good until we get to E, F, and G. Mark those out. Number 10, you're going to construct a graph, and you can answer those questions until you come to, all right, E. All right, so you can mark that one out. So anything that says distance or displacement, go ahead and mark that out on your graph. One other worksheet I want to go over with you really quick, right, would be your acceleration practice problems. And if you did not write these down the other day, make sure you do have these written down. Average acceleration is equal to the change in velocity. Remember, final minus initial, whatever that delta is in front of, right, over the change in time. Now, make sure that you have written down that average acceleration is measured in meters per second squared. Anytime you have velocity, it's going to be measured in meters per second. And anytime you have time, it is going to be measured in seconds. Make sure that we have those lined up. And what I mean by lined up, if your time would happen to be in minutes or hours, you do want to do a simple train track method to make sure that you change that into seconds before you actually go ahead and plug it into your problem. Same thing with velocity. If it is in kilometers per hour or miles per hour, you do want to make sure that you change that to meters per second with a train track problem before you actually plug it in. And even though I gave you guys one example before you left for turkey break, I do want to show you one more example, right, that you can go ahead and write down on your worksheet. Right, and this is in response to number 7. Right, they give us a lot of information in this problem. One of the things you guys are going to notice in these types of problems, these are called kinematic equations, right, is that everything in physics is going to be a word problem. So we want to make sure we identify those variables that we have. So initial velocity is 4 meters per second. Our time interval, right, is 3 seconds. Towards the end of our problem, our speed is increased to 22 meters per second. So that is a final velocity. And we are asked to calculate average acceleration. So these are as easy as they seem. We're going to plug it into that equation, right, and solve for acceleration. Now, so we're going to do a little bit of algebra. Solving for acceleration, right, is probably the easiest way to do these problems, but also keep in mind you can solve for any variable that you have that you come across in your calculations. So if you have any problems on either of these worksheets, make sure that you get a hold of me via Remind or Google Classroom, and I can help you guys set everything up. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving, and I hope you enjoyed the snow today, and tomorrow we will pick up with a new concept. Bye, guys.